Hi there. If you've been with this channel for any length of time, you will know that we have been chasing various multiple roof leaks on our modular building that is about 5 years old now. In many ways, it feels like we've been spinning our wheels and wasting our time, but really we haven't. The repairs that we've done are legitimate leaks. The scupper pan, for instance, that was leaking. The pitch pockets where those penetrations were going through the roof, they were leaking. Even the temporary repairs at the curbing where our ACs are mounted, they're not fully repaired or properly repaired, but they've been temporarily repaired so that we can be confident that there isn't any leaking happening at those spots. And yet the leak persists. It's funny to think that last year, when I was chasing that leak over at the high school for months, that this was an active leak. We just couldn't see it because it was in the wall, doing damage to a wood frame building. So what have we discovered so far? We've discovered that we have got multiple leaks converging in the same area. We've ruled out the scupper. We've ruled out the penetration points. We've ruled out the flashing. As horrible as the flashing is, it is not the cause of our leak. We've ruled out the curbing at the base of the AC units. And so the leak has to be coming from somewhere else. So we were able to rule out that it wasn't the cap flashing. However, in the spirit of trial and error and basically just ruling things out, and because we've had issues with the building on all sides with the flashing and the siding and how the areas don't really meet properly and how wind-driven rain can get in places, I do my best to eliminate that from the equation in order to see if that is the issue. Stick around if you want to see what that is.
Buckle up your seat as I give you a day in the life of facilities maintenance.
It's a few days later. It's actually New Year's Day, and I've got a bit of a cold. You can hear that in my voice now. Not that that has anything to do with what I'm talking about here. So let's move on. Things have dried out completely. We've actually had some nice weather here. We've had, I'm going to say 4 or 5 days now without any rain. So everything is dried out completely behind me now. It's probably going to start raining tonight or tomorrow morning. And so I'm going to remove that blue insulation that you see right there. Get that out of the way so I can get a look at the inside of the rim joist, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what I should be able to see when I remove that. And then when it starts raining, hopefully I'll be able to see exactly where the water's coming in. With everything dried out, it's pretty evident what is damaged and what isn't. We can get a good look at all of our lumber here, and the walls are absolutely fine. Yeah, but these 2x6s that are making up this support here, they gotta go. At least 2 layers are rotted. You can see that now that it's all dried out. This is no bueno. So that'll have to go when we rebuild this, after we figure out where the leak is coming from. Yeah, let's see what we got after picking away some of that insulation up there. And I have the wrong tool. I should go get a crowbar, a longer tool to get in there and pry. A lot of heat blowing in this area right now. That furnace running has gone a long ways towards drying all of this out too. That rim joist is completely rotted. So not so good. This job just got bigger than facilities maintenance. The rim joist is completely rotted. I don't know how far around the building that goes. It could be a 3-foot section, it could be a 10-foot section, I don't know. A lot of this damage started from day one. There's wood rot that goes back. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a few years to develop, and I'm seeing that here. This area, there's parts of this that have never dried out from the moment they started getting wet. So we are looking at a big repair, not just to find the leak, but to structurally repair the end of this building. And I think that is where us as a facilities maintenance department taps out. What we've done here helps dry things out, helps diagnose the problem, helps us realize the scope of the issue. But yeah, I think the wisest choice here now, since this is going to involve, so you don't repair this stuff from the inside, rim joist, whatnot. The exterior of the building is fastened to the frame of the building, the rim joist, the sheeting, the exterior sheeting, and all the rest of that. When I say exterior, I'm talking about the flashing and metal siding and whatnot. That all has to come off so that the full extent of the damage can be evaluated and properly repaired, and then the siding has to go back on. So this is a major project. That's all rotted. If I kept picking away, I'd eventually hit the metal siding on the outside of the building. And I don't know how far that travels back that way. The actual sill plate here kind of gets solid right around where my finger is. So it's possible that rim joist also gets solid kind of in that area. But who knows? At this point, this is a bigger repair than our department is capable of doing in a timely fashion. So knowing what we now know, and knowing that this job has leapfrogged over the scope of what I do at the school here, it's going to take a crew of contractors to come in here and resolve this. So what this means for me and the school here now is that I'm going to do what I can to button up this area on the outside to prevent any water from getting into the classroom. I'm going to poly from the flashing down the wall. It's going to rain later today. When it rains, if I don't get any leaking in the building, well then now I know that it's the end of the building, the exterior envelope, like the metal siding and the flashing, somewhere in there, that's where the issue is. If it does leak, well then I know it's still a roof issue. If I get lucky and polying the end of the building actually prevents water from coming into the classroom, who knows how long it'll take for the powers that be to get the wheels turning to actually get a remediation happening. And until that time, if I can poly up the outside, seal up the inside of the wall, they can have class in the classroom until such time as contractors need to move in, basically. All right, here we go. Time to head down, grab the scissor lift, and tape up the front face. That's really good coverage. I'm happy with that, and don't worry, I will make sure to provide openings for our HVAC intake and exhaust, as well as our fresh air vent that's going to be living under there as well. Well, there's our HVAC exhaust. And with this poly in place, that will eliminate the potential for any water to be coming in anywhere along this cap flashing or anywhere in any bad interfaces between the flashing and the siding along the east side of the wall. So let's wait for the rain and we'll see what happens. With that said, thanks so much for watching. See you next episode.